You're tuned in for another episode of the Cardinal Report, otherwise known as TCR. I'm Charlie Edward, and thanks for joining us. Women's track and field is our theme today, but first a look at other happenings around North Central College sports. The women's basketball team with a rare loss this week. A sluggish start put North Central behind early on. Carthage, which came into the matchup at 13-9, took a 12-0 lead to begin. North Central shot a poor 0 for 11 from the field through the first 5 minutes. Though Tess Goddard played well, scoring 20 points and shooting 50%, 5 different Lady Reds scored double figures, and Alexis Hahn led the way with 34 points and 17 rebounds. The slow start against Carthage reappeared at Elmhurst. A 17-0 run from the Blue Jays, led by Fiona McMahon, helped Elmhurst knock off the Cardinals 91-64. North Central closes out the regular season on Saturday against North Park. The men's basketball team had better luck thanks to star big man Jack Burchett. The Carthage gave North Central quite a scare. Late in the game, Mike Jeltsin tied the game at 57 with a 3, but Burchett's near perfection at the free throw line gave the Cardinals the eventual, though narrow, win. Burchett hit 12 of 14 free throws en route to a career-high 26 points in a 65-61 victory. Brandon White, not too shabby himself, tied a career-high in points with 10. Against Elmhurst, however, North Central fell short, which is tough luck because it was the team's chance to clinch a berth in the CCIW tournament. The Blue Jays got 20 points from Bryant Ackerman, many of which came in the second half, where Elmhurst forced overtime and then won it with Jack Burchett fouled out. A final of 84-78, which makes the regular season finale an elimination matchup. During the fourth and final spot in the conference tournament, North Central now needs a win over North Park on Saturday, a game you can watch right here on NCTV 17. The North Central College softball team continues to earn preseason accolades. After being ranked 19th in the National Fast Pitch Coaches Association, NCC has been picked to finish second behind Illinois Wesleyan in the CCIW. This from a coaches poll which came out Wednesday. NCC earned 42 points, as well as 3 first-place votes in the poll. Coming up on TCR, the women's track and field team, led by head coach Kari Kluckhohn, who joins us next on TCR.
Please have a seat. I'll be honest. Your resume is not what I'm used to.
I know.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need a hard worker.
Good. I've got 2 part-time jobs and to help my parents pay the bills.
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find, cultivate, and train a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Welcome back to the Cardinal Report, and joining me now is head women's track and field coach Kari Kluckhohn. Kari, how are you?
Great, thank you.
Nice to see you. And how about, to begin, get us caught up on the way the season's gone, evaluate your performance as a whole so far.
We've been doing very well. We have been placing in the top few every meet, 2 to 3 typically, as a complete team. We actually haven't had everyone together on any given weekend yet, based on school, health, a couple of injury issues here and there, but we're starting to come together. I noticed more this past week.
Yeah, the team seems very experienced. Looking up and down the roster, a lot of seniors, so that's probably helping you. But at the same time, looking to the future, who do you have in terms of up-and-comers that we might be able to look forward to later on?
Okay. Well, we have some very strong returners coming in next year, and some of them are younger, and some are going to be seniors as well. But we have a very strong pole vaulter in Courtney Meyer. She's a sophomore and has a great group to have been following the last several years, or last couple of years. Learned a lot from the seniors that we do have, so she'll do an excellent job, and it is this year as well. Kayla Etherton, Kayla Koenig in the throws, sophomore and junior, they're both contributors to our team, and will continue to do so when our seniors graduate. We've got some great middle distance and distance runners that will be returning. Well, that'll help us this year, and then we'll also return in the future. So we've got a good balance. Our hurdlers, some young hurdlers that are learning a lot from Madison, and within their developmental year here, I think they're going to transition well after this.
You are now, 2 straight meets, you've won second place. So I feel like the team's really starting to find its stride. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I do. We always are focused on the team concept every week that we go into any meet, regardless of who we're competing against. This past week, having competed against 23 other teams of varying levels, as far as division scholarship programs to developmental teams. It's a great opportunity for everybody on the team to have strong competition, and our women welcome strong competition.
Well, you guys give a lot of strong competition too, especially in the pole vault, where it's not really just on the women's side, but the men's side too. North Central seems to be at a surplus of talent in the pole vault. Would you agree with that?
Oh yes, it's been that way for many, many years. Coach Winder, our pole vault coach, has been at North Central way before I came, but he's always been able to develop talented pole vaulters from wherever they come in to where they end up over time. But their consistency this year has been excellent. You can really see that the big jumps are coming. The
men have Luke Winder. You guys in the pole vault led by Elizabeth Composto. What's the scouting report on her? I mean, she seems incredible. Oh, she's been doing great. And actually her heights don't even show how great she's doing. She's been jumping at her personal best heights the last 3 or 4 weeks. She's just learning how to work on some different poles, so she can really hit those bigger heights that she's wanted to. But we have just such a great group of senior vaulters that we're really going to miss them when they're gone. Well, how'd she do at the Chicagoland Indoor? We just had that this past Friday, Saturday. Yep, she tied for first. We don't do jump-offs at the Chicagoland Championships, and she was going at her personal best height as well. It's the one that she went out on as well as the other competitor. So she's been every week, week in and week out, been very strong. Well, at the Chicagoland Indoor Championships, women's track and field came away with several positive notes. The team as a whole finished second overall in this week's highlight. The Chicagoland Indoor Championships at the Alcarius track. Kari Kluckhohn, in her 13th year as the women's track and field coach, 6 national champions in her time at NCC, among other brilliant athletes. Her shot put team includes one of those. Carthage has one too, including Morgan Young. She nabs second with a powerful throw of 44 feet 6 1/4 inches. But North Central's Ebony Stallworth comes away on top with her throw almost a meter better at 46 feet 3 1/4 inches. Pole vault is next. Brooke Patterson, Courtney Meyer, Kelsey Trudson, and Elizabeth Composto all set to go. 6th ranked vaulter Liz Composto, who ties for first along with Lewis vaulter Rebecca Preisler, with a 12 feet 4 3/4 inch height. But thanks to wins in events like the mile run, Lewis University eventually takes the meet. Flyers runner Amanda Farrow takes all the marbles at 4:57.48 seconds. Farrow would also take the 3,000 meter run with a 9:52.57 second time. It's in the 60-meter hurdles where the Cardinals shine. Madison Renfro, ranked second nationally, clears them all in the blink of an eye and wins over Chicago State's Jessica McCaskill with an 8.88 second finish. Renfro gives herself the thumbs up. Overall, North Central places second with 94.5 points. Lewis takes first place with 143, and the University of Chicago in third with 93 points. Aside from Elizabeth Composto, you also have Courtney Meyer. She seems to be kind of an up-and-comer in the pole vault. Is that someone you're looking to take Elizabeth's place maybe in the future? Yep, you can never replace any of the vaulters that we have. I don't think you can replace any of your seniors in that way, but I think that she has excellent talent. She's a really good learner. She's actually pretty young to the vault. She started late in her high school career, but with having Liz, Brooke, and Kelsey to follow, really for these 2 years, she's just had great leadership. Well, we talked about Elizabeth in the indoor championships. How about we take a look at the team overall as a whole? What'd you get your biggest takeaway from over the weekend? Yeah, we actually had a lot of personal bests across the board, everywhere from, the 60 hurdles all the way up to the 5,000. In the field events, it was really a very strong meet for both newcomers and for returners. We had some really strong performances in the throws. I mean, Ebony Stallworth had a great day. She set the varsity record again in the weight throw and is nationally ranked again in there, and second in the conference. She won the shot put in leading the conference. She's highly ranked nationally. So it's been really exciting to see her development over the last 4 years, and she's been just a great leader for our throwers. And she has been insane, and that's actually what I wanted to get to next. Ebony Stallworth, a real strong suit for you guys. It seems like, pole vault #1, but maybe do you put, shot put, weight throwing #2? Yeah, I would actually say they're pretty equal. In the way that
Ebony, as a senior, has become nationally ranked in 2 events and has really been able to lead that group of a lot of throwers. Really, we have like 10, 12 throwers, and has really done a great job as far as motivating, encouraging, being a great role model in practice. Lena Baker as well. I mean, she's also nationally ranked, and she and Ebony have both earned the record this year in the weight throw, and Ebony just got it back this week. So I think having strong competition within your event areas where they build each other up, they challenge each other in a positive way, which is also what happens in many of our events, actually. The 60 dash, the pole vault as well, the 800 area, for example. We have a lot of areas that we have strong groups that work together and push each other to be at their best.
But what sets Ebony apart in terms of just throwing? Is there a technique she uses that kind of puts her over the top?
No, I mean, she's a glider. She's very strong. She always has been a glider and has been a very strong thrower. But you know what? She's really been able to grow over the last couple of years in welcoming and elevating herself when she's in strong competitions. She has been able just to develop over 4 years. It's consistent quality training is what we tell the women. If you do that over a period of time, you're going to get great results. So if you do that consistency over 4 years, which I think you can see with all of our seniors, from the sprints, jumps, and throws, then you're going to see what can happen if you commit yourself for 4 years.
Okay, well, we'll talk a little bit more about all this in a moment. Back with more with Kari Kluckhohn next on TCR.
When you earn your GED diploma, the barriers in your life fall. Take the first step and get free GED information in your area at 1-877-38-YOUR-GED or yourged.org. Earn your GED diploma and begin your brighter future.
Back on TCR and welcoming in the head coach of women's track and field at North Central, Kari Kluckhohn. And Kari, you know, we got into Ebony Stallworth a little bit. Lena Baker broke one of her records not too long ago, and then a week later, Ebony gets it right back. What did Lena say to her when she lost the record so quickly? Yeah,
they're really, we talked about that actually in our team huddle as a whole group about how great it is to have that type of competition together. There's no negative comments that come from that because they are trying to help each other get better. And it's kind of funny because you don't really want to beat your teammate, but you want to be at your best. And when you focus at being at your best for your team, we always talk about whatever the outcome is, it is. Whoever's first, second, third, it doesn't matter as long as it's North Central. When you see records go, you really want, you like to see them within your own team. So if you have selfless athletes, that's what you get.
Well, there's competition with each other, and then there's competition with yourself. And we saw Megan Costanzo beat her own personal best time by 18 seconds. And what's the scouting report on her? What's making her so effective?
Yeah, she has had a great year. I mean, from last year to this year. She had a little bit of an injury after cross country. She kind of rested things up and has been able to come back great. The rest, I think, was really a big plus for her. But she's just very driven. Like you tell her a split to run, she's going to look at you every lap and make sure that she's on it. If you tell her to go a second faster, she's going to do that. So, she loves competition, but if she doesn't have someone there, she had won that by quite a bit this past weekend. She's able to focus on pace and be able to push through. Someone
else who's very driven, especially self-driven, is Madison Renfro. You see her really pump herself up before races.
Yeah.
You see that in her too?
She's been that way forever, yep. In a fun way. I mean, she's very, very capable of digging deep inside herself to be able to be at her best. You get to the national meet, your teammates aren't standing there with you, and she's still able to really dig down and bring it out. But she also is a very team-minded person. I mean, she is always cheering for the freshmen. She's a great motivator at practice and even like coach, even though she's not the hurdle coach. We have Coach Roderick there, but you want your upperclassmen to lead at practices and be able to see some of the smaller things too and help the women out. And she's that way. She'll be on the line. Like last weekend we were at a meet, she was on line with two of our other hurdlers, and she was like totally cheering for them. Let's go, guys, and not for herself, but for them.
Yeah, someone like that really lightens up the locker room. I think every team needs someone like that. But in terms of talent, what muscle groups is she working to get such a great explosion out of her blocks?
Yeah, I mean a lot of quads, a lot of hamstrings, glutes, everything all through here. Strong core. You have to be able to have the right. You have to have the right angles when you push out of the blocks, and as you sprint, get into the right positions. And if you're not strong in the core, it's very hard to do that. So, but again, I think when you look at her and when you look at like Brittny and Miranda when they come in here as well, as upperclassmen, it's that consistency over time and sticking with the plan. And in the off season, when you have to be working hard in the off season, I would say effectively in the off season and doing that year after year, and you're going to see those types of results.
You had Renfro listed as someone who might have run in the 4x4. She didn't end up doing that. But if you look at your roster overall, who's someone you can pinpoint that would be most capable of working in a wide variety of different events? Who's most versatile?
Oh boy, we've had. If you look at a heptathlete like Jessica Sutphin, you have to be able to do multiple event areas. Teope Wetterman. I mean, those are people that are top heptathletes, pentathletes right now. They have to be able to practice amongst different event areas. But I would actually say, like if you look at Brittny Olson for us, she can run from the 60 to the 400. She can long jump. I mean, that's a lot of different areas that someone can contribute to. You're going to have Miranda in here as well. I could put her in a 400, but I'm not going to. But she has the same versatility between the sprints and the jumps. You have to be able to have, on the women's side, have some women who can do more than one event area. There's more specializing on the men's side when you even look nationally. But having some of those people that are able to do different things is how you have a strong team.
Going back to Madison Renfro, we mentioned what a great leader she is, and I think her leadership comes from being lighthearted and giving everyone a light atmosphere. But you look at Elizabeth Composto, though, former RA at the school. Is she more of a stiff leader?
Yeah, she's very, she's a total lead by example. Everything that she's actually pretty fun and silly. You just don't see it on the runway. But she's one of those people that will stick to the workout plan from day one when she got here as a freshman, all the way, till now. So she's just someone. If she shows that if you just follow things step by step, it's going to get better year after year. The women listen to her because they've seen that she has results off of the work that she's done. And she's one of those people that, has been well respected on campus by being an RA and contributing in other ways as well. So I think people look at her in a little bit different light in that way.
Well, how about a look ahead? We got the Cardinal Classic coming up. What can we expect moving into that meet?
Yeah, this week the meet isn't really about so much team place. It's more about fine-tuning for conference. So we'll go relatively light in most areas, giving some people their final chance to make the conference lineup in different events, kind of looking at the conference list, looking at our own depth charts, and making sure people get opportunities that are still trying to make the lineup. But those that are already in, it's either going to be a rest week or it's going to be a very light week, just sharpening.
This is your last home meet for a while. I think most of your success this season seems to have come at home. What needs to change for you guys to get better on the road?
Yeah, I don't really think I thought we've done well on the road as well. I think it depends on the teams that you're competing with. Like I said earlier, we haven't run with everybody or competed with everybody across the board in one weekend because of different reasons. That happens a lot indoor. When you're on a tight track, people come back, people get sick, the flu or whatever. So it just makes you have to make those adjustments. Our goal has always been to be a closing team at the end of the year, build early and then close at the end and put everything together. So I haven't been concerned with having certain people sitting out certain weeks. We've been able to see almost everything we've needed to see to be able to put our lineup together. So whether we're on the road or at home, we tell everybody you have to treat every meet like a home meet. Make sure that you, one, you have to respect the facility you're in because, you have to learn if it's a different place, just kind of how they run things. But other than that, because we're a strong team and we are very focused as a group, you treat every meet like a home meet. All
right, well, Kari, thanks for being on today.
Thank
we
you.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right, well, coming up next, we've got Miranda Rorer and Brittny Olson. You've got TCR.
So they say it's a man's world? Well, I don't see anybody's name on it. While they were out doing their thing, we slowly changed all that. We changed all that. Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Back on TCR, here with us now are sprinters Miranda, Rorer, and Brittny Olson. Guys, nice to see you.
Thanks for having us.
And you're coming off the Chicagoland Indoor Championships. Miranda, we'll start with you. What was your biggest takeaway from the Indoor Championships?
I feel like the biggest takeaway for me at the meet was doing all three events, because I haven't done all three events in a while. And I feel like I had a pretty good performance in all three, which was a pretty good takeaway.
And you, Brittny?
Yeah, definitely kind of the same thing. Like, this is the first time I've done those three events, a 400, a 200, and a 4x4 as a huge load. So looking towards conference, you know, it'll be another big load, so kind of practicing it.
Well, we've heard it from the coach. Still want to hear it from the athletes, though. Where do you guys see the team's strengths overall this year? And we'll start with you on this one.
I definitely think one of our biggest strengths is that we're very have a huge variety. We have like throws, we have jumps, we have on the track like shorts and distance races. So that's kind of one of our biggest strengths. We can kind of fill all of our events.
And Miranda?
Yeah, I agree, and I feel like a lot of us do different events, and we're pretty strong in all sorts of other events as well.
Well, Miranda, you were 4th in the 60, 6th in the 200, 7th in the long jump. Out of all these events, which are you most comfortable in?
I would have to say probably the 60, just because I feel like that's the event that I'm more focused on. I'm focused on all of them, but more so on the 60.
Yeah, you seemed at your best in the 60. I think you tied your personal best at 7.88 seconds overall. So, yeah, I think you seem most comfortable there. Where do you seem most comfortable?
I would like to, I think probably like the 200. That's one of my favorite events. But I'm definitely starting to get more used to the 400 and definitely starting to focus on that a little bit more.
And you were in the 4x400. You had the first leg in that one. Is there pressure being the first leg? Is that where you prefer to be?
Yeah, I've been the first leg since I was in high school, so I actually kind of like being on the first leg. I've always liked getting out of the blocks and kind of just having to hand off and go.
You know, what's the, if you look at just overall in terms of versatility, on the team, if you guys had to pick one athlete, which athlete do you think is most capable of performing in everything and doing all of them well? We'll start with you.
Probably Madison Renfro, just because she's so strong in the short sprints, and if she did the 400, I think she would have been really good too, but overall, she does a lot, and she's a very strong athlete.
And Brittny, if you had to pick one, who would it be?
Yeah, I agree with you with Madison. She's pretty strong with any of the hurdles, and this is the first year she's really kind of done like the 60 open, and she just got through on it, and she's one of our top 60 sprinters now. Besides like the multis that do all of the like multiple events, like Teope and Jess, they all do multiple events and are good at it too.
Who's the overall leader of the team? Is it Elizabeth Composto? Because if you're looking at it as a casual spectator, it seems Elizabeth is the one who's kind of in charge around here.
Well, I would say she is definitely one of the major leaders on the team, but I also think that we have a lot of leaders in all of the different event groups, because Ebony is definitely a huge leader with throws, because she's been helping them out and helping and teaching the freshmen. So she's definitely a leader. And then Madison's a pretty good leader on the sprints too. So it's definitely a variety of leaders too.
Well, Elizabeth Composto and Megan Costanzo headlined their respective groups of pole vaulting and distance running. And while both are focused on dominating in their respective fields, the two maintain faith that the rest of the team can excel all together on this week's What's the Word?
Pole
vault, the last 4 years I've been here, we've had great depth, and it's just been great to be a part of. And then it's great to see it across the board in most field events, most running events. We've always had depth every year I've been here. It's nice because you can bounce off those people and, you know, use them to your advantage and work with each other. You know, you're never alone. And in pole vault, you know, we've got a great group. We've got very good cohesion, and we just keep each other tight so that, you know, we're all out after the same goal. And I think it's across the board on our team.
I mean, it's pretty inspirational, and it just goes to show, even if it's not like, it's not my event exactly, and it's pole vaulting, it's someone who's in there doing the small things day in and day out, and like to watch them break those records is amazing, and it makes you want to do your part and be as much of a participant in that, and be a good leader amongst your group and become on their level, you know. If it's the 60-meter hurdles and you're watching Madison do amazing things, like, or not, it's still inspirational no matter what.
Also, I know the high jump's been doing great, and I haven't been, our practices are so different, so it's kind of hard, but you know, I just know that by seeing what people have progressed into, that you know they're doing the work. Without you, I don't need to see it all the time. I just know, because you could see the performance, you could see their attitudes, and it's apparent.
Nationally, you guys have really been hovering around 12th, 13th, 14th in the rankings. What needs to happen for you guys to really break out and continue to move forward? Start with you, Brittny.
I think as like the season, we have 3 more meets before like the national meet. And I think with our training, we've been building the whole beginning of our season, and now it's championship season, and so it'll be the times where they'll be kind of pushing themselves and really focusing on trying to like get that next person or like the person ahead of them. So I think with time they'll get their breakout marks and times.
Miranda?
I believe the little things is what makes an athlete a good athlete, such as warming up, cooling down correctly, lifting, stretching, staying hydrated, and then the times will come and marks will come.
Miranda, do you have a pre-meet ritual that gets you more, you know, acquainted with your environment?
Pretty much during the bus ride, I'll have my music on, stay focused, and when we do get to the track, we're all supposed to walk the track and get familiar with it, as Brittny said, and then just staying focused, not breaking that mentality.
Well, we have the Cardinal Classic coming up, but how about we look ahead a little bit further? CCIW Championships in Kenosha, Wisconsin. You'll be on the road for that one. What are your expectations going into it?
I'm really excited for conference, so it'll be fun. It'll be a huge team effort. Like, we're just gonna have to do our best and put up all of our like strongest times and throws and everything to see where we'll end up.
Yeah, it's going to be a tight meet. Everybody's going to have to lay it all on the line.
Well, we're excited to see how that goes, and good luck to you, and thanks for being on today.
Thank you.
Well, the women's track and field team hosts the Cardinal Classic next before heading off to Kenosha, Wisconsin for the CCIW Indoor Championships. For the latest on the team, follow at NCTV17 or log on to www.northcentralcardinals.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week on TCR.